Hey guys, I'm gonna do a little contest prep update while I have a minute driving home. Just got done with compression therapy and some cryo. Have them in the same place. I normally try to knock out both at the same time. I'm not really close to anything, so when I schedule it, try to get it all done while I'm there. Legs are been really heavy, just not recovering very well. I mean, my leg training, the poundages and stuff are still hanging in there pretty well for the most part. But just with all the cardio and the low calories, it's not, I mean, the recovery is pretty poor. So the compression definitely helps, the cryo definitely helps with that. I plan on doing that at least one more time, if not two, before the show. I have a couple sessions built up, so I'll probably use those pretty quick. So as far as the prep goes, nutritionally, on the last video, I believe I talked about having switched from keto over to more of a protein-sparing modified fast on my normal days, which is still where I'm at. I'm at about, calorically, it hasn't really changed. It's pretty much goes about 1350 calorie wise on most days, and then the refeeding strategy is more so what changes for me depending on the week. I'm about 3 or 4 weeks into this. I think I've done about 3 weeks now, and the refeed's been different every time. So, and the cardio, I'm more so increasing deficit through energy expenditure at this point, just because I really don't have many more calories to get rid of. Just enough, to have protein in the mix, enough protein to maintain tissue. So, add cardio, mostly low intensity at this point. The CNS burden of HIIT isn't really worth it, so it's mostly just low intensity, steady state. Now I've been splitting that up into multiple sessions daily, typically about 2 sessions a day, and plus training if I'm training that day. I just find it mentally a lot easier to get through the sessions, and if I could elicit some little bit of metabolic effect from each session and do that twice in a day, then I really can't hurt. So that's typically how I split up the cardio. Cardio right now has been about, it depends on the day, it's about 90 minutes total most days. Slightly less some days, but around 90 minutes to get the caloric expenditure that I want. And like I said, I'll split that up. So nutritionally, as far as the refeeds go, I believe the first week I hit 1,200 grams of carbs over 2 days. The second week I did I think it was about 1,000 over 3 days. And then the last week was about that as well. I actually did 1,000 over 2 days. And then I had increased fats on the third day. So basically it's Saturday, Sunday are the main days, and then I'll add into Monday. I feel that this refeeding strategy is treating me a little bit better just rather than a 1 day, just so I can actually get some effect on leptin. Most of the time a 1 meal refeed certainly isn't going to have that much effect, and a 1 day, it might, literature shows that it's probably not going to be that substantial. But you start getting into the 3-day range or so, and you're looking at some effects. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for. This week, I'm actually going to experiment with that a little bit more and run carbs over the 3 days, but go more moderate. So shooting for probably about 1,000 carbs, depending on what, 800 to 1,000, depending on what my body's doing and where my weight's at and all that jazz, how I look. And it'll be something like 500, 200, 100, or 400, 300, 100, something like that, spread out. Insulin sensitivity is going to go down slightly over as the days go on, though. I mean, it's super high at this point. Anytime I start ingesting the carbs, I'll normally do pre-workout on Saturday before I train, and then carbs the rest of the day, and do cardio in the evening to finish off my cardio for the week, plus the partitioning benefit. And the pump within, 1 set, maybe 2 warm-up sets, is there quick. I've been going hypo almost every single week on the refeeds, so it's just throwing my insulin sensitivity is just pretty crazy. So kind of interesting to see that. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on refeed wise. It's a strategy it's working for me. My body's extremely stubborn. It's going to get pretty grueling here. We're about 4 weeks out. Well, 4.5 weeks out. Cardio's definitely going to be pushing that 2 hour a day mark, I have a feeling, for a while, at least for a few weeks. And we'll do what we got to do. Still have a couple fat loss supplements can add in to elicit some more effects, so that'll come into play too, but obviously it's not going to be anything substantial. So at this point, just kind of grinding away. It's a really hard spot in prep, mentally, physically, but we have a little bit more to work with, and I think it's gonna be just about right. Give me just enough wiggle room with my cardio, nutrition, refeeds, training, all that stuff to make get where I want to be. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know in the caption. I know that wasn't super in depth, but that's more so what's going on. I'm really playing everything by day right now. My days can change a little bit, day to day, and the refeeds certainly change. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope everyone's well.